I was so shocked by some of the things that she said, and I felt like everything that she said was so tailored to me. Hey everyone, so for in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my experience of when I went to go and see a psychic for the first time. So if you're following me on Instagram, then you would know that I went to go and see a psychic for the first time last week. And I had the most insane experience, and I was genuinely shocked by a lot of the things that she knew about me. So I thought it would be really cool to do a video sharing my experience, and I actually do have the audio recording of my session, so I'm going to be inserting some of the audio clips because obviously it's kind of hard for me to recount everything exactly. So I'm just going to insert some of the audio clips of what the psychic said, and then I'm going to react to things that she said. So I hope you guys find this video really interesting. I personally love this kind of stuff and was so excited to go and see a psychic. It's been something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. I would say that I'm quite like an open-minded spiritual person. So this has just been something that I've wanted to like tick off my bucket list, and now I've done it and I'm able to create my own opinion on what I actually thought. Also, disclaimer before we get into the video, I just wanted to say, obviously I know that this is something that not everyone agrees with, and some people don't believe in psychics and are quite cynical towards it, but I just ask that maybe you guys just keep your opinions to yourself in the comments. Like, maybe don't say anything that you think might offend someone else, and just be really mindful of other people's feelings and beliefs, because I know that this can be quite a controversial topic. So I would just love for you guys to maybe not say anything that could be too controversial. And I also think it's good to not be too quick to judge. If you guys haven't experienced going to a psychic before yourself, then I think you can't develop an accurate opinion on it. So I really hope you guys find this video interesting and insightful. And so the first thing that I want to talk about is how much I paid and how long my session was for. So I had a 30-minute session and I paid $80, which I think is a pretty standard amount of money for a psychic for a half an hour session. And honestly, I would really recommend just going in for half an hour if it's your first time, because you want to make sure that you actually vibe with the psychic and that you like it, and you don't want to fork out a bunch of money if, like, you know, it's not a good experience. Now, I also wanted to mention that it wasn't just me who went to go and see this psychic. I actually went with two of my friends, Emma and Sienna. We all had half an hour sessions right after each other, and it was so interesting because all of our experiences were so different, especially considering we went to see the same woman. So it just goes to show that she doesn't just say the same thing for every single person. It is actually tailored to you. So I'm gonna grab my audio recording up now and start playing some of the things that she said. First things first, I just wanna say that I was pretty stupid as soon as I walked in the room. It's like I forgot that I was going to see a psychic, and you know, she might know things about me. So the first thing that she said to me was like, someone's been watching a lot of English television, haven't they? And I was like, oh yeah, I grew up in England. Shouldn't have said that, Ella. Come on, like, you're not meant to say anything.
Someone watched a lot of English television.
Oh no, I'm born in England.
Where?
Oh.
Then she asked me when my birthday is. So I told her my birthday, which is the 21st of the 6th, 1998. And she writes this all down on a piece of paper, and she's like looking at it and kind of like finding what reoccurring numbers are in my like name and my birthday.
Nines and nines, my dear. You're cuspy, but Gemini cusp. Got a little bit more leaning to Cancerian than Gemini, my dear. Just in the bones.
And I must say, it was really interesting the way that she kind of was identifying that. So she was looking at me and she was kind of like scanning my body, and she was telling me which parts of my body were in water and which parts of my body were in air. And if you guys aren't familiar with star signs, then you wouldn't know, but basically the symbol for Cancer is water and the symbol for Gemini is air. So she's like, you know, your arms are in water, your brain is in water. I'll play the audio.
Arms are in the air zone, structure, skull, and that is in Cancerian, in water. Eyes are in water, dimensions of skull are in water.
So then she goes on to talking about some of the personality traits of a Gemini and Cancer. And can I just say, the things that she said ring true to me so much, but I'll just let you guys listen.
Creativity, very creative.
Yeah.
Like to come up with new things that people haven't done. There's a creative aspect in here. It's like I like to play painting. I like to put everything together a bit differently. And so creative mind. Looking at things very differently, planning them, creating them. These two are working together very strongly. You get a little bit trapped in your emotional state.
So then she moves on to doing kind of like an overall health check. So she grabbed my hands and was looking at my palms and was kind of like pressing here, which actually kind of hurt. And from that, she told me that I was really healthy, which is obviously a really good thing. But then she said that I actually have some hormone imbalances, and that has been causing me some bloating, which is so funny because I'm not gonna lie, I have been struggling with being bloated for a little while, but she couldn't see that. I was sitting down, she couldn't see my stomach.
In your body, what traps you a little bit is all around the middle section, and it generates from your hormonal imbalance. So it's not quite as balanced as it should be.
Wow.
So it's got temperature indications in the hormonal section.
Yeah.
So that was really crazy that she told me that, and she said that I needed to go see a naturopath and get some like hormone balancing medications, some natural things. And I definitely think I need to do that because how random is this, right? I've always had really good hormones, I think. Like my period's always been on time and I've never really had too many issues that I've known about. But as of recently, my period has actually been a little bit out of sync and has come quite early, which is really unlike me. Usually my period is right on time. So it's a little bit odd that my period came early as of recently. So that might be because I have some hormone imbalances. And I'm not saying that that's 100% true. I definitely do want to go and see a naturopath to get those things confirmed. But it kind of does match up with what she said, which is really interesting. Another thing that she said about my hormones is that it is causing me to have like temperature fluctuations, which is really true as well. Like you can ask Brayden, I get hot flushes all the time. Like sometimes I'll be lying in bed and it's not even a hot day and suddenly I'll be like, so hot, like get away from me. And honestly, it's sometimes just out of the blue. Like I feel like my temperature really fluctuates and I didn't actually realize that that was to do with your hormones. So then she hands me a deck of cards. I'm not sure if they're like tarot cards or angel cards, but she asked me to shuffle them. So whilst I was shuffling the cards, she asked me what I wanted to get out of the session. And I said just anything about my future, basically, about where I'm going. And so here was her response to that.
Your guide tells me England is the place to be.
Really?
Yes, you will go and spend some time.
Really?
Yes, living and working.
Wow.
Expanding your options.
Yeah.
Your vibrational energy for here gets a bit stunted. You fall in with a few things that aren't quite right for you that tend to lead you round and round in circles. To me, everything with you leads me out of here.
So that was kind of crazy because I haven't actually spoken about this online because it's just been something that I've literally only been thinking about as of recently. But my friends know that I've actually been thinking recently of potentially going over to England for a couple of months. So my family is actually going over to England for Christmas this year, and that made me think that maybe it could be a good opportunity for me to go over with them. But I thought that maybe instead of just going over for Christmas, I would go over in September and stay until December so I could be there for a few months and like experience the end of summer and like the start of winter. So that is something that I was genuinely thinking about and was telling my friends. And when I told them that, they're like, what the heck, LL, you literally told us that. And can I just say, I haven't said anything about this online or even to any of my family members or anything like that. Like it's not even written down. So it's just nuts that she kind of knew that. So then she goes on to talking about me with people and like how I am with people.
You have a great way with people. You have a tendency to attract people into you. A little bit of life of the party, bubbly, organise people and get everyone going and have a wonderful time. And life is leading you on a little bit of more of a journey. And I would say to you, work and life takes me very much back into sort of that England area.
So then I went on to ask her, like, whereabouts in the UK do you see me going?
It feels very green to me, almost moorsy, meaning it's got a lot of green areas to it. I feel like we might be more into the south section here by the way they lead it, but that will not surprise me if you go to some very strange places or some very interesting places depending on your viewpoint. Places like almost like Glastonbury or a tour. Areas like this, I don't feel like I'm going there to party. I feel like I'm going there viewing and doing some other things too. But I'm going to say to you, I feel very south orientated, not north. And I also feel like I'm travelling over to different parts of Europe from this section. So it's got a very deep vibrational energy that can't be ignored.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that is. exactly,
Yeah.
but I tell you, that's where they dragged me to.
So if I'm honest, I was a bit confused when she mentioned Glastonbury because I don't actually have any family who lives there. I've never really been there. So that was really random. But she said that, like, you know, I could be going over there for like work and just kind of traveling around. So that's something that I have no idea about. However, when she mentioned me going to the south of England, that kind of does make sense because I have a few family members, like my cousins, who are living there. So I wouldn't be surprised if I spent some time around the south, which is like where London and Brighton and all that kind of stuff is. So then I asked her how long she thought I would stay there. And also then she went on to talking about kind of why I was going over.
Do you have like a time frame that you see?
Oh, literally 12 to 18 months.
Oh, wow. So soon.
Yeah, I think you'll stay there for a little while. I'm not saying it'll be your predominant home through life, but I do believe it's a trip you're meant to take, and it's not just going for a week or two.
Yeah.
It's meant to have some substantial impact in the direction of your life. And strangely, I think it's going to have a spiritual direction and impact.
Yeah.
It sounds like a really weird thing to say to someone of your age, but I think it has a serious impact in career direction.
Yeah. And what kind of spiritual, like anything?
I think it's a little shamanistic.
Yeah.
Is the only terms I can think of to describe it.
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting. I am a very spiritual person, but like it's just crazy that she said that that would be one of the reasons that I would be going over to England. And then she described it as being kind of shamanistic. And I had no idea what that meant. And she was like, you know, like shamans and stuff. And I've honestly never heard of them. So then I Googled it. And from what I can see, shamans have like a certain way of going about their life, and they're very much into working on the inner self. She talks a little bit more about it, and I'll insert that clip.
Meaning it's kind of got music and creativity to it. So it's got some aspect of music and creativity, but I would say it's some sort of spiritual circles or something's going on here that you come into contact with over there that actually will impact you long term in career focus and everything.
Yeah.
And actually has quite a large sort of impact to the rest of your life.
So at this point, I was kind of like mind blown, and I didn't really want to mention anything to her, but I was thinking to myself, I wonder if this kind of spiritual thing has anything to do with these projects that I'm currently working on. And I haven't even spoken to you guys about this, so this is a first for you guys to hear as well. But I've actually been working on a few projects which all revolve around like personal development. And I'm not going to say too much because I haven't actually like fully started doing these things. They were only recent ideas that I've had, but I am about to start taking action on these projects. And I'll just say they involve listening and reading. So there's two different projects that I want to work on, but you guys can probably kind of put two and two together. But I just thought to myself, the projects that I'm working on are kind of related to spirituality, so that kind of aligns well. But I didn't want to say anything because obviously I wanted her to just continue talking at me without any of like my information. But then she goes on to talking about certain months and like timelines of my life. And she said that September is going to be a very significant month for me, and it's going to be a month of change.
September for me is kind of a completion, but it's not all sitting. Work, on the other hand, is increasing and more pressure. So it's like this is getting better and busier, and there's a specific option coming forward. So something is increasing here.
Yeah. Do you know what kind of option?
I feel like it's an opportunity for a new pathway. So it's like someone saying to you, you can come over here and work in this particular section, or this is an offer on hand. I feel that that's close. If it's not happened yet, it will be very close. It's someone offering you something, an opportunity to take. Regardless, to me, all work's increasing.
Yeah.
So it's going up and up and up and up, and opportunities there. And so growth is definitely in this 3-month period in the work sector. It's kind of very critical, next 3 months. And then again, September onwards.
So then we went on to talk about things like friends, my relationship, children, travel, and I think that was like the main things that we talked about, but I feel like we really like talked about them quite briefly, and there's not too much that I can like tell you guys about. Also, like, I don't really want to involve anyone else in this. I just want it to be like plainly about me and like where I'm going. So then after that, we kind of just like summed up the whole session, and I told her a few things about me that I didn't tell her. I told her what I did for work. I also told her about those project ideas, and I kind of told her everything that shocked me. She said that that all makes sense. And I also forgot to tell you guys, but she said this spiritual thing that I'm going to be doing actually aligns really well with what I'm doing already, which kind of matches up obviously because it kind of like works all together. And she also said at the end that she sees me working from home. This is before I told her what I did for work, by the way. She's like, you'll be working from home. And she also said that she sees me like moving away, like not staying where I am. It might not be moving to England, but it might be moving somewhere. And like, I don't know, I have no plans for that. I'm actually really happy where I am. So that was interesting, but you never know what the future holds. So we'll see, hey? But anyway, that was pretty much my psychic experience. I hope you guys found this interesting. I was so shocked by some of the things that she said, and I felt like everything that she said was so tailored to me. And the things that she said to my friends Sienna and Emma were also crazy and so tailored to them. So I'm honestly pretty amazed, and I'm also really excited to see what the future holds now and if any of these things come true. Also, I wanted to mention, if any of you guys believe in angel numbers, you would know that 1111 is a very significant and well-known one. And basically 1111 means that change is coming and to keep doing what you're doing. I'll insert the actual meaning here on the screen. But I have been seeing 1111 every single day since seeing the psychic. I've been so shocked. I'm like, why am I seeing 1111 all of a sudden all the time? And I don't look at my phone 24/7. So it's just crazy to me. But I mean, I know not everyone believes in this kind of stuff, but I'm very open-minded, and I just think that's kind of crazy. But I would love to know if any of you guys have seen psychics in the past and what your experience was like, what they said to you, if anything has come true. Also, I would love to know what you think is the craziest thing that she said about me, like what actually shocked you guys as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found it entertaining. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!